Welcome to Transforming Us podcast. I'm Jess.
And I'm Tamara. We're trauma-informed relationship coaches and old friends here to discuss common patterns and what leads us to paths of security.
You know, people are feeling overwhelmed and disconnected in their painful relationships, which often leads to mental health crises.
We want to share some new ideas and practices to help you cultivate curiosity, compassion, and to redeem the patterns in your relationships, starting with yourself.
Join us on this journey of transforming us. Grab a cup of coffee and let's dive in. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, we are kind of giving you a little bit of a window into our home. I have my husband here, Travis. And
Hello.
so excited to talk a little bit about how we've incorporated raising our teens and using tools like the Enneagram to help them feel known and understood and work on communication skills. So we really teach them about using it as a tool, something that they can pull out and use when they need to help them look at situations from a different perspective. So Trav, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about what we've been doing with the kids over the spring?
Yeah, so we have embarked on a journey using a cool resource that you found called The Gospel for the Enneagram. It's a 40-day challenge to kind of dig more into the why behind our actions and see how God meets us in our wiring. And so, there was a little bribery involved for both me and the kids that you needed to for us to finish our books, but in a fun way where we kind of had a goal to finish the book. And they're pretty small. And they were in each person's number. So like if you were an Enneagram 3, the 3 was written for you, etc. And then, you kind of set up to have a celebration dinner where everyone kind of earn a Indian lunch buffet, which is one of our favorite family meals, and then spend that time sharing.
Yeah, it's been really fun. Those books are written by Tyler Zock, who is from Gospel for Enneagram. He's been on the podcast and, really does a good job incorporating scriptural truth with each Enneagram number and then just writing these devotionals. Like Trav said, that challenge, they got to choose. They didn't have to do this, but they all accepted the challenge and is really fun. Jay, our oldest, is in college and he was not part of this because he wasn't home. He knows the Enneagram. Yeah. But before we bring on our teenagers, we thought it'd be really fun to bring on our littlest guy, Dakota, who's 7, and see if he can peg each sibling and then me and you as far as like a question that hints at, our number, our style. So, all right. Hey, Dakota, how are you today?
Good.
Yeah?
So
You're looking pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions.
What?
But you've been on Daddy's podcast, right? That's so rad.
Yeah, That's So Rad podcast had.
And what was the other podcast you were on with me and Daddy together?
It's
Called
the Ordinary.
Cultivate the Ordinary. You're right. So this is going to be your third podcast. Isn't that great? Okay. All right. So what do you think about our family?
Well, it does feel good, but I do like playing basketball.
You like playing basketball with who?
Asher
Asher.
and
Yeah.
Jay. And Jay.
So if you really had an idea to go out and do something fun, like go out to eat or go get a toy, who would you ask to help you convince Mom and Dad to go out to get a toy?
Joey.
Okay, why Joelle?
Because she has to ask you.
Oh, so she's good at asking for fun things, right? Yeah, that's a little hint about what number Joelle is. All right. What about if something happened and you knew it was wrong and you were right and you needed somebody to help you argue for what was right? Who would you ask?
Dre.
Why Dre?
Because he argues.
He argues for what's right or what's wrong. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
He does argue a lot. And he definitely has a very particular perspective on what needs to happen, right? Right. What about if you were in a situation where you broke one of your siblings' toys or something and you needed to go to them and tell them, hey, I broke your special action figure? Who would you feel best about telling? Like they'd be calm and not mad.
Asher.
Why would you say Asher?
Because he has a lot of action figures.
Right. But what about, like, why would he be the person you would choose over, like, telling somebody else that you broke their thing? Is he real nice to you?
Yes.
Yeah. So he's real calm?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he would not, like, he'd be frustrated, but he wouldn't, like, react and be real mad at you. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are best buds.
Mm-hmm.
So what about if you really needed some, like, snuggles or you wanted to draw with somebody
100.
and be creative? Who would you come to for snuggles and art? Me? Yeah, that's right. I'm your snuggle buddy. What about if you needed something fixed or somebody was not nice to you and you needed a protector? Who would you go to?
Dad.
Daddy. Okay. Yep, he is a protector and he fixes a lot of stuff. What does he fix?
He fixes bicycles.
All right, one more. Listen up. Who in our family cannot wait for the next piece of candy, the next fun trip out, or the next play date with a friend and feels like it's really hard and they get bored? Who is that?
Me. But
You?
uh-huh.
Is it hard to wait for
Yeah.
fun things?
What Kennedy comes over.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's hard to wait for a friend to get to come over. You're right. I love that. So, all right. Do you have anything you want to say about the Enneagram, Dak? Do we talk about the Enneagram?
Like what kind of Enneagram?
Do you know what it is?
So numbers can help you learn, but understand.
Understand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're right. That's true. Well, thank you for joining us. I'm really happy you got to share. You pegged everybody perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
So we're about to hear what those numbers are.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Say bye.
Bye.
Yeah, so it is funny, and it's actually really cool that a 7-year-old like Dak in our family can kind of categorize his siblings in sort of these generalities of kind of how their personality is. To, this sibling is more on the fun side. This is one that's more peaceful and, doesn't argue as much. And, so
Yeah.
to make those distinctions. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know we're gonna really focus on the kids in this conversation coming up, but is there anything you want to say about your experience going through the devotions or as an 8, like what you learned doing that together as a family?
Yeah, I mean, so just the devotional itself for me as an 8, and having previously done a lot of work on understanding my number and using different resources, I was really uh, impressed and learned a lot. I think in different ways to challenge myself and kind of the things that, or look at blinders in a different way. Also, I think the book gave permission to sort of kind of also have more understanding for how I'm wired and sort of what my responses were or are. I remember one of the things that two things that really stood out. outside of just the faith focus, and we had a lot of verses that remind us of how God for an aid is ultimately our protector. All of the
Mhm.
attributes of God that sort of in a positive way I can image, but also that there's a lot of times where I'm not letting or trusting God to be those things that I'm trying to be.
Yeah.
Whether it's rising up, being strong, being kind of sometimes taking control that I shouldn't, and that's a trust, a faith issue that I have to look at.
Mm.
But then there's a lot of positive things as well that sort of for me, I got to see kind of in my number. And one of them was the idea that for eights that have so much energy and kind of can come across as feeling like they're just so full of life and intensity. He likened it to a dryer plug that's,
Ah,
much bigger, running off 220, way more volts. And kind of just
yeah.
a reminder of like that's the gift of an eight, is like, can kind of we can kind of bring that energy to situations and help empower others with our energy and intensity and passion. So that was, and then also I think the last one that really stood out for me was just the idea for eights that when we aren't leading something, or empowering people or whatever, we're in a season we're not getting to kind of do that.
Mhm.
um it really can be we can really struggle, I think, to find our place, purpose, kind of feel like, oh, I'm just something's missing right now.
Mhm.
So yeah, that helped me really think of like, okay, what, maybe I'm in a season of not leading something, but where are things that I could be stepping up, or maybe it's leading things that I didn't think that didn't come to mind, or I don't know. So,
Mm.
um,
Yeah. And, that's interesting now that we're talking about this because I'm also drawing the connection between the two. Like, as your wife and as a
mhm,
coach and stuff like that, just seeing how in seasons where you're not in a position of leadership to empower other people,
mhm,
there's that excess power, and so
yeah,
therefore, the taking over for God, the being the
mhm,
protector, the coming in too strong at times, which, everybody has their shadow, right? So,
mhm,
for eights, it's oftentimes intensity.
mhm,
And so, I think there's a correlation there that being plugged in and leading and having purpose and expelling some of that leadership power and empowering others, like, it's got
mhm,
somewhere to go is what I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah,
So that's
yeah.
interesting.
And
Yeah.
then just like to your other question of just like what I saw kind of for the family or doing this exercise together.
Yeah, what
Um,
did you see with the kids? Any observations before they come on?
well, I think like in our conversation that we had the celebration meal and just sort of
Mhm,
talk through that stuff, I think it was fun to hear from them. Um, the ways in which they saw themselves differently, or like, because there is a sense, I think, with the Enneagram as a tool where you can kind of also feel really known and seen, like, oh man,
mhm,
like this is how I am, but is it explains more about like why that is, or like, and you really feel seen. So having the kids kind of, I think, explain like the ways in which, yeah, like it was cool to see someone describe like how I think or why I might
yeah,
do some of the things I do. So, and then just like, I think in that conversation, hearing from one another, like as we landed on one for a little bit of like Asher might describe something about him being a nine, and like seeing the other kids like, oh yeah, I see that, or like, I appreciate that, or
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I agree that that moment of it's almost like a Psalm 139 moment. I had this light bulb turn on and go, "Wait, God designed me the way he did for a purpose, for a reason, on purpose." And,
Uh-huh.
knowing their number has given them, and we also talked about they're not just one number, they have
Right.
other numbers
Yeah.
that are high, but they have one kind of place they've landed that's their dominant go-to
Mm-hmm.
default, and it's like, "Oh, there's a way in which I'm gonna be used in use my gifts and have a mission in the world. So,
Yeah, well, to that point, I just want to add, like, I feel like in the context of just our family, it was such a cool reminder of the way, like, the mosaic of God's colors, of how, like, even in that conversation where we would talk about each other's number, the things we appreciate, where you get to kind of see and be reminded of, like, whether it's, one of our kids who's a one and really seeing the world through the lens of right and wrong and justice and like how we all need that. We all need that gift that he brings and helps remind us of. Another kid teaches so much about peace and seeing other people's perspectives on life. Like, I need that. So we all need that. So, like, hearing and kind of seeing, like, this is a gift you bring to our family. Our daughter who's, and I'm like this, so but always want to have fun. And the next thing, like, well, that's also a gift of, like, kind of looking at life through, like, adventure and stuff. So I think, like, just all of us kind of seeing, like, man, that is a beautiful way God put our family together and how we can
mhm.
share those gifts to help one another grow in those ways.
Yeah. Yeah, I think about a deck of cards, when you have a full house. Like, we have pretty much we have, 7 no, we have
Hmm.
6 out of the 9 numbers represented it just in our family. And it's crazy, the
Yeah.
variety. Yeah,
Yep.
cool. Well, we'll get ready to bring the kids in.
Cool.
Okay, so we have the Vongsness teens here. We have Joelle, Dre, and Asher joining us. Jay's at college, like I mentioned. And we are going to just talk about their experience with devotions and learning about the Enneagram and just kind of using this as a tool to better understand how they're wired as well as what other people are like. So couple ground rules though with the Enneagram, like we've talked about, is that it's not a box, it's not a label, um, and it's not a weapon, and it's not something that you like use against people. It's not a reason to avoid something you're uncomfortable with, it's more like a map or a tool. And it helps us become a healthier version of who God made us to be. So, yeah, you want to talk a little bit about, what each number is?
Yeah. So, kind of another part of this is talking about the different centers that the Enneagram numbers represent. So,
Right?
in our roster as a family, we have the gut triad, the gut center, which would be me as an 8, Dre as a 1, a type 1, and Asher as a type 9. So even though we have very different expressions in some ways of our numbers, we do kind of, the three of us share kind of some things more around like autonomy, justice, connection to anger. Anger comes out differently in different ways, but the three of us would definitely share that connection to that emotion. Um, Heart types, Jess is a 4, and then our 3, Jay at college. Um, we don't have a 2 in our family at this point, but um, for you guys, it would be more, self-image, relationships, more of a connection around the emotion of sadness for you guys.
Mhm.
And then our 2 head types, Joel and Dakota, both 7s, uh, kind of really big into security planning. There's a connection to anxiety, a lot of like thinking, kind of stuff in their heads that sometimes can be overthinking, and that can be some of the anxiety stuff. So there you go.
Yeah. It's really fun thinking about all the things that Dakota pegged as he was talking about his siblings and how each of those things came out. I think about the interesting dynamics of like those different numbers and how they interact with each other. Like in our family, I think so. Joelle and Dre, when you guys do dishes, that is something that you approach it incredibly different. Like, what would you say the differences would be in how you approach dishes in our home?
I don't know. I just feel like I do them to get them done, you know?
Yep. Trying
Just
to
as
get to
quick as
what's
possible.
next. Right. Quick
Get
and not
get
really
through the
caring too
suffering.
much about doing it perfectly.
Or I put them
And
off
Dre?
until later.
I I really hate when people put dirty dishes in the dishwasher because then they come out dirty. And I like my dishes like in order. I hate when they put big stuff on the top rack when it's supposed to go on the bottom, or like an egg pan with eggs still on it in the dishwasher, knowing good well it's gonna come out nasty. Yeah, that
Yeah.
type of stuff.
So there's definitely a right way to load the dishwasher and to do dishes for you. And so then the other thought that came to mind was like Travis and Asher. Even though you're both in the body center, how you would approach a family decision would be drastically different. What would that be like?
Asher, go first.
Yeah, give me something more than that.
Okay, so here's the hypothetical. Where are we going to eat? What's Dad like, and what are you like?
Whatever you guys want.
Oh, yeah.
That is exactly what I'm like, isn't it? Whatever you want.
No, that's what Asher's like. So what do you
Okay.
like, Trav?
Who's
I feel like I'm being set up on this one.
I'm just curious how you would approach.
Guys, am I really?
Where are we going to eat
Am I
different?
really a dictatorial? Like, this is where we are going.
You often switch it to like a Mexican food place.
You have to
It's
pick
like
like
getting pizza or whatnot. You'll switch it
style.
to Mexican food.
Somehow it'll turn into what we want, but it was really maybe what you wanted.
Well, okay, so you're saying I would, in this case, maybe set up kind of a category because maybe I was really craving
That's what I
Mexican
mean,
and
yeah,
being
you
like,
can
hey,
say
Yeah.
what Mexican restaurant do you guys want to go to
You'd
in the
still
minute?
have-
There's an element of control always.
I feel like you're the one who like is most excited about it at the same time. So like
That's true.
I think.
Yeah,
Can I just speak one thing to this?
sure.
Not being defensive at all. But I also have a strong 7 wing. So I am there's a lot for me about like kind of possibilities and like that's where the excitement Asher said I think comes up. But honestly, guys, I mean, I feel like my big thing is just like, hey, let's eat out tonight and kind of a blank slate, but really am I
I think it's just more the style. You like to pick
Okay.
the style. Like you
Okay.
can pick the restaurant. You're just like, I feel like Thai food tonight.
I feel
or
like okay.
I feel like Mexican.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, moving on. We are different though, for sure. And so then the last thought I had about differences that are pretty drastic in our home is, so me and I would say maybe Dre would both be on the side of like liking to talk about emotions and have long conversations about how maybe how we feel or how we experience things. And then you have Dad or Travis for the listeners, and Joelle and Jay are all kind of like they don't love the deep stuff. So
I feel like me, I just like listen but don't talk often.
you're kind of more neutral in the middle, right? Like you're cool with talking about it if they want to, but you're also cool with not talking about it if somebody doesn't want to. Yeah.
But here's the thing too, I think is part of it is Asher is very deep.
Oh, yeah.
And reflective. I definitely can go deep. I just
Yes.
think I wonder if part of it is maybe for us, it's a little bit, especially you and I, it's like, okay, this is just going to keep going deeper into this, say, emotional thing that's just or onion layers going deep and deep. And we're like,
Yeah.
can we just get to what this is trying to accomplish? Like, it's almost like, where is this going? Like if like, what is, for me, it's the root. Like, what is the root thing that's trying to be fixed here? And you and Dre can just kind of camp
Yeah.
out and this can just go and go. And
Y'all can talk in the kitchen for like 2.5 hours about life, and me and Dad just sit there and we're like, "What's the point?" Like,
let's go out to eat.
Exactly. And I also feel like I can understand those things, that it's like, some of us just have a capacity for so much emotion, and then we got to move on to something lighter. And and just like I don't love high energy things at all. So but yeah, so we just finished this 40-day gospel challenge in the spring, and the kids are going to talk a little bit about how that was for them. So Dre I'd love for you to share first your experience learning about the Enneagram 1 patterns. Maybe just briefly, like, was there anything you learned that was challenging or helped you grow in compassion for others? Maybe see yourself or God differently? What stood out?
Well, I would say my personality type is really hard to get along with, but we all mean to do we mean to do good by people, and we want to help people. It's just we see our way as the best way, and like also I don't I don't like leaving things undone, or like if I see something wrong, I don't like leaving it be, which tends to make people mad, especially as a Christian. I've the book explained it very well, but like I won't let it go. If I see that it's wrong, I'm going to say something about it, and so I come off as hypocritical, unloving. But I mean well. It's just my personality type is a very confusing type.
Yeah.
The things we do to help often hurt people.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
it's like I'm fine. It's good, and the book helped me like get through that.
Well, and I think but there was also a lot of really good encouraging parts that helped you see how to, channel your awareness of what's right and wrong and how to make things better, in a way that can help the world. Like, did you feel encouraged, like, going into ministry by some of the stuff you learned about ones?
Yeah, I mean, according to the book, we're very productive. Um, if there's something that needs to be done and done right, we're the ones to call. Like, it's how do I don't want to say buzzkill, but it's like the one person, like they'll do the job and they'll do it perfectly, right? But being around them during the job is not going to be fun because they're going to be focused, they're going to be direct, very direct. They're going to say what's on their mind, and they're gonna do it until the job's done. We don't really
Yeah.
rest. That's also another thing. Like resting is very hard for us. We don't like to rest. If we complete one task, we move on to the next one. And then after we complete that task, we move on to the next one. We don't celebrate. We just move and go and do and complete.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of exhausting that doing all the time in that body center and feeling like you in order to be good, you have to keep going. So, well, thank you for sharing some of your experiences. I'm really excited to see what the Lord does with you as you head off to college in the fall, to CIU to study ministry. So, I'm very proud of you. So, Joelle, when you picked up your Enneagram 7 book, what do you think stood out to you as things that you were challenged by or ways you were encouraged? What'd you learn?
Um, I just feel like it encouraged me to enjoy the present and not constantly be thinking about the future
Yeah?
and to like sit in emotion more.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a lot of good conversations, as we talked through the devotions, and I think you just shared a lot of almost aha moments that you saw the other side of that coin of thinking, ahead all the time, but you miss the joy because you're all about joy, right? Having fun, but you sometimes miss what's happening right now.
Mhm.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you feel like, um, really helped you be excited about how God made you?
um, I don't know. I feel like I can just like when people are going through like a hard time, I can make them feel better.
Yeah.
I'm good at
Yeah.
distracting people, which
Oh,
can be a
man.
good thing and a bad thing, but yeah.
It makes you a really good babysitter. Like, the ways in which you are caring for kiddos, and help them have fun and be distracted, say, when they're having a tantrum or whatever. But, yeah, you really do lighten people's moods when they're down and, bring just a positive outlook to life. You're my sunshine girl.
I do have a quick question for you that came to mind.
Really?
One time I heard an Enneagram 7 say that because they're always the life of the party and often always the one cheering everybody else up,
Mhm.
that they've realized as they sit and think about it is how rare it is that they're ever asked, actually, how are you doing? Because
Mm.
you're always displaying sort of, I'm okay. And so, and they were kind of sad by that. And I'm like, that's really interesting. I mean, do you kind of feel that ever where it maybe, and maybe you'd be uncomfortable anyway
Yeah.
with that question, but like that's kind of like it's rare
And
that
I feel
people,
like that doesn't get. I feel like even when people do, my immediate response is just be like, "I'm good." Like if people ask, "How are you?" I don't even think about it. It's like an automatic, "I'm good." So like, yeah, I feel like I don't get asked it that much.
Mhm.
Like I was like, I think I was at church one week and Cameron, he was like, "How are you?" And I was like, "I'm good." He was like, "How are you really?" And I was like, "What? Why are you asking
Oh,
me
that
again?"
answer's not good enough.
Yeah, I know.
Oh no.
It's like,
You're
oh, okay. I actually got to answer this time.
Yeah. Yeah, do you think it's helpful to be asked again to, like, give yourself that double check? Like,
Yeah.
"Am I really good?"
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mm.
I like that. Good question. Did you have any questions for Dre?
Me?
Yeah.
N No, I think I appreciate all you've been really honest about your experience of that as a one, and like I think you summed it up well, Dre, for people trying to understand ones of just like because you can kind of see things often more in clear, like black and white, right and wrong. Um, your impulse is to try to really help people see the right way, but and so your intention is all often to try to lead people in that, but like you said, sometimes it does come across like, I mean, it could come across preachy, it could come across sometimes, just like really judgmental, or just like, hey, there is gray, like you're kind of being too narrow. um and so seeing both, I think, like you said, like the gift of that, being reminded like that is a gift that you bring to the world to help us see things more clearly in ways. So did kind of as you read the book, it did challenge you sort of to sometimes maybe take more assessment at times of like, okay, how am I coming across? Or like did it help you kind of see more some ways that you can be perceived that maybe you didn't realize?
Um, well, yeah, kind of like what I think is helpful is not always helpful, and that like sometimes it's more important to keep relationships than it is to improve
Uh-huh.
like I can of course make someone like or not make someone, but like try to better someone else's life. But sometimes it's more worth it just to keep a friend than to fix whatever you see as wrong or broken. Which technically it's not even my like position to do so. Even if I see something wrong, I mean, unless it's life threatening, it really doesn't.
Yeah.
It really shouldn't matter that much to me. But since I like stuff perfect or near perfect as close as I can get. I like just like critique here or there or say other things like that.
That's a
Yeah.
great example, and just being your dad and kind of seeing these stories and situations, like an example from that to me is like where you've had things with coworkers or whatever where it's like you did that very thing of like your impulse is to say, I need to like write your theology, I need to write, and there's moments that you still need to do that if that's your conscience, but there that I've seen you do that where you're like, I could say this, but for the sake of our relationship, I'm not going to because, I know where this could go for them and I'm going to protect that. And when I hear you say that and do that, I'm like, dude, that is really great work for a one. I mean, that is such a healthy move because you're like, I could do this, but I'm recognizing I'm going to lay that down. And I'm like, that is awesome. What.
Yeah. Yeah, just weighing those moments and remembering connection before correction is, you know, it's a good rule of thumb. So love that. All right. So Asher, don't mean to leave you till the end. I always feel like not intentionally, but Asher's always like last with stuff. So like he's the last to get his meal at a restaurant or he's just the end of the Enneagram. He's number 9. It's kind of sad. So anyway, so what was your experience like, Asher, learning about the Enneagram 9? Anything that was helpful that encouraged you but also challenged you?
Like how I should be doing more for me and not always for others. And which I can see is something that happens a lot.
Mhm.
Also, one thing that really thought about is it talked about like how they often like can't get started on stuff, which I can really see that in my life. And then once I start doing it, then like I enjoy it with different things. Like, and talked a lot about how we can be good friends to other people, and which is kind of like how Joel is in ways, right?
Yeah.
I mean, different ways.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I like how you said at the beginning, thinking of things that you want. And so that's about like having a voice and being seen and being heard and, having your own desires for life or dreams or goals. Sometimes you can kind of so want good things for other people that you forget what you want. And so, it does make you a really good friend, but growth for 9 is kind of coming into who you really are and what do you want out of life and stuff. So, yeah, I love
But
that.
I feel like a lot of this stuff I really actually don't care about. I'm like, I'd give this up any day.
Has there been anything as just siblings, like the way that you guys interact with each other, that you've gotten a little more clarity as you've learned about each other's numbers that's helped you understand conflicts that you guys sometimes have? Anybody have a thought?
My bad. I've learned to be nicer to Joelle because me and her numbers clash a lot due to like I like ideas and thoughts. Um, like I've always found it like say to be like it's like rude to want to be the main attention or to become the main attention or maybe even interrupting people or like cracking jokes at the wrong time. I've wanted to take stuff serious, but like I've never really had compassion for like 7s or any
Mhm.
other that's like really. I don't want to say loud, but like they're there. They're there, and their presence is made known. But like it's helped me be a lot nicer to Joel over those things. I used to correct her every single time, and you can ask mom. I correct people when they like talk over people. Sometimes not even in my own conversations. I just be like you're interrupting somebody or whatnot. But I've learned to like let stuff like that go because it's not really that important.
Yeah, that's good. That's really nice to recognize that it wasn't a conflict that was just because she's doing something that's wrong. You now see that, she tends to joke and have levity and be lighthearted. And, sometimes that might be talking over somebody, but, some of it is just differences in personality and it's not always something that needs to be corrected. And so it's helpful to see it from that perspective and to not just think like, "Oh, she's, annoying me," or something. So, thanks. And so what about gifts? Like, when you guys think about each other, and Trav, you can weigh in too, just gifts that you see in each other. What stood out as you learned about each other's numbers?
Well, I kinda shared this already, some of this for me, but I think, yeah, just overall, my short answer is just the reminders of just with our family, like within the family, the gifts that everyone really does bring a different lens into the world and the things that they notice, or, whether it's Dre helping us see things and maybe sometimes more clear, or the right, right and wrong, and kind of leading some with that, and kind of Joel, your energy to kind of excitement and passion for the next thing, and like adventure, and I think overall everyone's adventurous, but Asher, the gift of being able to just really be patient and really see from other perspectives is such a, I mean, I struggle with that. So that really helps me. Jesse, um, your ability to see people and for who they are and want to go deeper and want to really care for people, and slow things down. Um,
Mhm.
and
Thank
Jay's
you.
not here right now, but like, it's really cool to see his kind of, being wired to really shine and really being motivated to kind of show up and really be a light, and, kind of a really good friend to so many people. And so I don't
Yeah.
know, those are ways that everyone's kind of impacted me.
Yeah.
I feel like Dre has a gift for standing up for things that are wrong and people and
Mhm.
all that.
Hmm.
For sure. I see that. I see his heart for justice just like his dad.
Yeah, I feel like Dad's good at like confronting people when they're doing something wrong, but he can do it in like a loving way. He's not always like, I don't know. It's like he can he like sometimes he can come across as like intense, but he can also do it like really nicely too.
Yeah.
Which like it freaks me out to confront people, but Dad's good at that.
Yeah. Did you feel like he was really protective of you when there was a situation at work and you just didn't know what was going on and you felt a little unsafe and he came rolling up in his big truck and
Even my 27-year-old coworker, that's a man, was expecting Dad to protect him. So like, yeah, definitely. Dad rolled up in his truck and he was standing on business.
Yeah,
that's
Joey had
awesome.
a scary thing at work with just something that happened with a customer, and she doesn't work far away. So I was just thinking of that. Like, I love to hear her say, like, even her 27-year-old coworker dude felt at least protected, or that I was, because I mean, I was here for him too. There's no greater moment than that type of a thing for me as a protector, to like, just like, I will jump headfirst into that because I'm alive in that. Like it, and I'm not saying I love it all the time or anything, but like it's just like I am 100% into that. I'm coming in, I'm not even thinking, here's a situation that needs protection. I will defend my daughter. I'll come in, I will go toe to toe, whoever this guy is, whatever's happening. I'm not trying to here to fight, but I'm here to protect. And
Yeah, no, he was on the phone with his mom and he was like, "Don't worry, her dad's got us." He was like, "He seems like a good dad." So, and he doesn't even know my dad. Like,
Yeah, that's
I feel like
awesome.
I'd be the last person to do that.
Oh, you know what though? You have an 8 wing, Asher, and I think as you get older, you're going to get stronger and stronger, and that peaceful strength is going to be. I can think of a friend of ours, Jeremy Sparks, as someone that probably not when he was younger, but like he's a 9, but he is a very strong 9, and he's able to stand up when there's situations that need confrontation. So yeah, I definitely see that growing in you. The more you use your voice and believe that you're able. So let's talk a little bit about just that feeling seen by God. I know a lot of people experience that when they learn their Enneagram number, they feel very seen and kind of known, like, oh, wow, like there's other people like me, and like maybe God made me this way intentionally, and like maybe there's a purpose behind all this. Like, what was it like as you did your devotions and you wrote for a couple of months, really, over time about how God views you? Does anybody want to speak to that?
Of course, y'all can probably guess what my answer is going to be, but I really connect with God because it allows me to slow down and like take time because God, He forgives. So I don't have to worry about tons of stuff. Like, did I do enough? Am I evangelizing enough? Am I talking to people enough? Have I given enough for God? He doesn't require me to give, which allows me to, gift as much as I can. I want to give stuff to people. I want to do good, and I can't be perfect. And the fact that God literally goes, he's like, no, you're never gonna be perfect. It's especially if, like, for one, very hard to deal with.
Yeah.
Especially wanting to be perfect. But he's like, no, you can't be perfect, but I love you anyway. And that's the stuff I need. As a person who doesn't like messing up, like hates it. That like the security and a perfect God, someone who is perfect, loving someone who's imperfect, is very
Yeah.
comforting. Yeah.
That's golden. I'm so glad you got that out of your time using the devotions, that although you do have a desire to do the right thing, like that God's not standing over you, grading you, and that he loves you and he wants a relationship with you. And so that when you do good things, it just comes from his grace. So I love that that's what you got from it. Is there any practice from your devotion time that you are asking God to help you grow in, now that you see your patterns more clearly? So something you want to do more of or learn more about?
Probably being a better listener. Like, I feel like I have trouble listening when people are talking to me. I'm like looking every other way and trying to get out of the situation, but
Yeah.
Mine would probably be the opposite. Being more out there, maybe
Mm.
like just straight talking to people more, and I don't know, standing
Yeah.
up for things more. Because one thing I heard in the journal was like it's harder for them to step out of their comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a
I like
great
that
one.
you said that it's like the opposite. So instead of listen more, because you're great at that, it's one of those things that just say what you think or initiate conversation or get involved, do something. Yeah, like that type of stuff. Um, I like that encouragement. So those are things you guys are practicing. So thanks for sharing, guys, a little bit about kind of the mushy stuff, the meaningful things. As a four mom, that's the type of stuff that makes my heart very happy to know that you guys got some good stuff out of this time. But we also had some fun times and shared some laughs at our celebration meal.
All right, so we're gonna do a quick, fun name it game. All right, so it's a pop culture of Disney movies or superhero movies or whatever characters. Everyone's gonna go around the horn and say which character from a Disney type or a superhero movie describes who they are and their number, who kind of represents you. So let's begin.
All right, we'll start with Asher. What did you figure out as far as the Enneagram 9? Winnie the Pooh. I love Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
He's very 9-ish, for sure.
And you love honey.
Because, I mean, he's quiet, and I feel like they, like, was it, like, Piglet or something's like, do you want to go do this? He's like, sure. I don't know. That's just, like, I've seen in some of it, I don't know, he just, like, follows him around.
He's
Do you ever
easygoing.
fear your stuffing is going to fall out, Asher?
he's gonna get his head stuck in a honey pot.
Okay.
Oh, he likes his comforts too. Winnie the Pooh does.
It's true.
All right, so 7, Joelle.
Olaf.
Olaf, for sure. Like where she
Say what you
doesn't
said
love
again.
warm hugs,
Yeah.
but she's got the same personality. Or Ariel from The Little Mermaid. That was one we read about. So, Dre.
Yep. Oh, my fictional character. I got like Batman. I love Batman. It's he does the necessary to get things done. But like on a more extreme end, I also got Thanos, and I don't know, these two people. One of them's very evil, Thanos, and one's a good person. And I like the fact that I can be who I am and still do good. I like that factor.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, and Black Panther was another one that I read about that's an Enneagram one. Very cool. All right, Trav.
Gonna have to go with Ursula from The Little Mermaid. So just
How many
As an
legs do
8?
you have?
how many legs? All that rage. All
Oh
the
my
rage.
goodness. I think more Beast from Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, well, that's because of the muscle profile.
That's
Yeah.
much
Yes,
better.
totally. And kind of hairy
Body
too.
hair.
And the body hair, the back hair. Okay, that's wow.
So Iron Man is a good one. That's an 8. And then for mine, I read about Belle from Beauty and the Beast. She's
See, that's
kind
actually
of
my
different and misunderstood, but also Wednesday Addams, so from the Addams family.
Nice.
Or Eeyore. I think Eeyore is a 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
From Winnie the Pooh.
Oh boy.
So here's a question for all of you. What were you going to say, Asher?
Oh, Tigger's probably Joel's number.
Tigger, yeah, you could do this just with Winnie the Pooh
We
character.
could, totally. Could be an
Man.
Enneagram for Winnie the Pooh.
Dre'd be like
So-
the rabbit man.
Oh, I don't want to be the
Dre's
rabbit.
the rabbit.
The
Oh my
rabbit.
gosh.
I don't
That's
know.
hilarious.
What's
Like
the 8 in
Kanga
Winnie
or
the Pooh?
something?
Kanga?
I
What's
don't
the 8?
know.
The missing
We're-
number?
The
We're going to have people commenting
The
on this
heffalump.
podcast like
It's the heffalump.
What everyone's
Heffalump.
afraid of.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's good. All right. So this is for anyone. If you were talking to your friends and they were like, what's the Enneagram? Or maybe they know about the Enneagram and they're like, it's this cool personality test or something like that. There's a lot of people out there that use the Enneagram as just this trick, right? It's just to kind of peg who you are. Or sometimes people don't like it because they feel like it puts you in a box or it says who you are. Nobody's going to tell me who I am. Which it's neither of those things. What would you guys describe from your experience and understanding? Like, how would you describe to a friend what it is and how we use it?
It's like a good tool to learn by yourself.
Yeah. Helps with self-awareness. What else?
A beginner's guide to your own personality.
A beginner's guide. It's a place to start learning about, like Joelle said, learning about yourself.
And also, others.
Yep.
That is awesome.
Yes. Place
There are
to learn
people
about
that can't-
others. Yeah. Is it a place where you can kind of learn to develop yourself and to not just stay your number?
Sure.
Yeah, that's how it's designed. It's meant to be used not to just show you where you are, but also where you could go. So, yeah, once you start using it like a tool and learn more about it and go deeper into it, that's how it is meant to be used. But again, it's just a tool. It's not the gospel. It's not the end all be all. And if you don't like it, that's fine. If someone else doesn't like it, that's fine too. But it is a great tool for self-awareness. It's a great tool for growing in curiosity about your wiring, other people's wiring. It helps with self-compassion. So when you're kind of really hard on yourself, gives you a little light to shine on where God made you. Yeah, it empowers you for purpose, gives you a path to maybe see places where you might be able to use your gifts. And then ultimately navigating conflicts. It's just really helpful as people think about using this tool with their teens or their family. As we see differences show up and we face misunderstandings and frustrations, using the Enneagram as a way to just kind of put on someone else's glasses for a second and just see the world the way they see the world and know that we're not all made the same and that really helps, especially in a family. And then you guys are preparing for future relationships and going on to be adults in different environments and, in churches and things like that. So just being able to take this with you and know some of the basics is I think really helpful.
I think you summed it up really well, and it was a fun conversation together. So I've really
Yeah.
appreciated the tool myself, and it's really taught me a lot about myself, other people, and having a lot more compassion for the differences in others that I don't understand, and it's helped me to see that in new ways.
Yeah. And thank you guys all for doing this challenge with us. I know you didn't have to, but just being willing to take the time to look closer at it and do this podcast. It's a nice little early Mother's Day gift.
There you go.
So, all right, I'm going to close the show with a blessing. May you be aware and open to everything that comes to you today, welcoming it all for your transformation. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Transforming Us podcast. We hope that you enjoyed the conversation and that you found it helpful. If you loved what you heard, we would really appreciate if you would take a moment and leave us a 5-star review and rating. Your support helps us reach more listeners like you.
And also, don't forget to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more relationship content. Then, if you're looking to take your growth to the next level, check out our coaching services and groups at transformingus.org.
We're here to help you transform your patterns and enjoy more secure relationships.
Until next time, in the words of Raoul Shane, you do not need to do big things. Just do small things in a big way. Then transformation will follow you.